to the Gilman Scholarship Workshop. Thank you for joining today's session. If you're a Pell Grant recipient or dependents of active or activated military personnel, and you're wishing to study abroad, you're in the right place. So we're going to be talking about the Gilman Scholarship today and the Gilman McCain. Please note that these are two different scholarships that I'll be talking about, so we will dive into the differences today. We're going to explore how this Gilman Scholarship can open doors to amazing global experiences. We'll discover what the Gilman Scholarship is, its eligibility requirements, and share some valuable tips for a successful application. So first things first, how much is the Gilman? The highlight of the Gilman program is that it provides scholarships of up to $5,000 to American undergraduate students with high financial need to study or intern abroad. And this is going to be on approved academic credit-bearing programs, which we offer through the Education Abroad office at CU Boulder. And we're also going to talk about what it means to be a Gilman Scholar. So I'll give you a brief Gilman Scholar snapshot. So here are some stats for you about who are the Gilman Scholars or who receives this scholarship. 100% of them are Pell Grant recipients. About half of them, 50%, are first-gen college students. 65% come from small towns or rural communities. But all across the board, these are students applying across the 50 states of the US. And they come from over 1,300 US campuses. And this includes two-year colleges. And these are students that are pursuing a variety of careers. So of all majors, there's no limit to the major that can apply for this type of scholarship. It's open to students of all majors and students, again, pursuing a variety of careers academically and professionally. The Gilman Scholars, what the main focus is of course, a study or intern abroad, and you can choose the destination, the location. You can intern in over 170 countries. And students are encouraged to work with the Education Abroad office at CU, with your academic advisor, hand in hand, to help identify a good fitting program for you. The supplemental awards, which we'll talk about in a little bit, they're an additional option, additional funding opportunities for the scholarship. There is not a separate application for these scholarships that are listed on this slide. The applicants will simply indicate in their Gilman application that they would like to apply. And again, the program that the student decides to pursue, they should keep in mind that there's no minimum program length requirement. So their program must fall within the cycle's eligible time frame as it's shared on the website. So for example, if you're a student who's pursuing a program soon for this upcoming October 2025 cycle, it encompasses programs that are starting between December 2025 through October 2026. So that's spring programs, summer 26, and fall 2026 programs. If you are selected for the Gilman Scholarship, and after you return from abroad, the Gilman Scholars are then required to share what they learned, share their experience, and encourage others to participate in international education programs through their follow-on project. So again, that's the main goal of Gilman Scholars, is to go abroad, apply for the funding, depending on their program, and complete a follow-on service project. There are more benefits to studying abroad and to applying for this program, because you're probably wondering, well, okay, well, what's so good about it besides the money? So here are some benefits of being a Gilman Scholar. When a student becomes a Gilman Scholar after they're awarded, they become an alum, they have access to benefits and opportunities that extend beyond their time abroad. So this includes being a part of a network of over 44,000 alumni. You have access to career development and networking opportunities. You get invitations to special events and seminars, with some opportunities being extended to students that are currently abroad with their Gilman program. And then at any point after the program, The Gilman Scholars are invited to apply to be alumni ambassadors. And the ambassadors share about the Gilman program in and outside of their campus. They can take a training in DC, again, to learn how to vocalize, how to share, how to be an advocate for the Gilman Scholars Program. And this is where they get to meet other ambassadors in person. So it's really building your network. And then, of course, the ability to connect with other scholars via this network, the Gilman Scholar Network. And besides the connections, besides the invitations, Gilman alum are eligible for scholarships or tuition discounts for graduate programs. So if you're a student who's interested in a graduate program, this would be a great plus of the program as well. Now let's dive in a little bit more details about the program. So if you had never heard about this scholarship before, the Gilman program was established by U.S. Congress in 2001, and it's a program of the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, or the ECA. And basically the ECA's mission is to increase mutual understanding between the people of the U.S. and the people of other countries by the means of educational cultural exchange. And so we're going to talk about the two main scholarships funded by this organization, which is the Gilman program and then the Gilman McCain program. Here they are side by side, comparing the two. The Gilman program offers U.S. citizen undergraduate students receiving the federal Pell Grants through their financial aid package. They offer up to $5,000 to participate in a study abroad program or an internship program abroad. The Gilman McCain program is very, very specific. It offers a flat $5,000 scholarship for a child or spousal dependent of active or activated military personnel to participate in programs abroad. The military personnel must be active or activated during the time of the application and receive any type of the Title V federal aid. So not just Pell Grant, it could be any type of Type 5 federal aid. Applicants to either opportunity who are studying a critical need language or studying in the STEM field while they're abroad can also opt in for the additional funding opportunities, which we'll dive into as well. The eligibility for this program is as follows. So students have to be a U.S. citizen or national, an undergraduate student in good academic standing. You have to be receiving the federal Pell Grant during the time of your application, or provide proof that you will be receiving the Pell Grant during the term of your study abroad program or internship. You have to be applying for a credit-bearing study abroad program in a country or area with an overall travel advisory level of 1 or 2. And you must be in the process of applying to or accepted for a study abroad or internship program that's eligible for credit from CU Boulder. The multi-country programs, multi-area programs are allowed, and proof of acceptance is required prior to you getting your award disbursement. So just keep that in mind. The Gilman program does not have a minimum program length. And also note that Gilman Scholarship recipients can only receive the scholarship once. If an applicant previously declined the Gilman Scholarship, they are welcome to reapply as long as they still meet all eligibility requirements as listed in the slide. Now moving on to the Gilman McCain eligibility, because again, this is different from the regular Gilman Scholarship Program. To apply for the Gilman McCain Scholarship, you will use the online Gilman application that's posted, and based on some of the eligibility questions that you will be prompted to answer, Gilman will determine if you meet the requirements. As applicants, you'll be required to upload a copy of your military dependent ID to submit an application. Besides being a child or spousal dependent of active or activated U.S. military personnel during the time of application, and having any type of Title V federal financial aid. So again, this goes beyond just the Pell Grant. It could be any type of Title V federal aid. And the rest of the Gilman requirements apply as previously stated in the last slide as well. Okay, now on to the juicy details about the application. At the end of the session, I will show everyone a peek at the application, and I can help anyone get started on it if you would like to get started on it today. This application that I will show you at the end is an example that can also be found on the main Gilman page that's linked through our Education Abroad page. It's on the Gilman info page, which will be linked as well. So the first things first is the app requirements. Sorry, my slide was having a little bit of an issue there. There's a two-step application process. Students have to complete the application, providing information on their program abroad, 4 short essays or more if they're trying to apply to one of the supplemental awards, and a transcript. This could be official or unofficial for their current institution, and transcripts from any previous institution that you were a degree-seeking student. You will also be required to select a study abroad advisor and a financial aid advisor within the application. Which leads to that second part of the application. You'll see under number 2, the advisor certification. I put in red the names of the people that you should be selecting within your Gilman application for the upcoming cycle. My name as the study abroad advisor, and the financial aid advisor, our close contact is Destiny Brown at the Office of Financial Aid on campus. This is our main contact, but if you are a student who already submitted their application and maybe hit Ashley's name, because right now Destiny Brown and Ashley, both of those names are popping up. Either one is good. Don't worry, regardless, both have access to certify your application once you have completed it. The advisor certification is for us to check off that you have been approved to your program, you're a real student, you're eligible for this type of scholarship considering your financial aid. So we automatically get a notification about you completing your application once it's done. There's no need to send us a separate email about this because we automatically get pinged, and it's sent to myself and to Destiny and Ashley over at the Office of Financial Aid. So keep that in mind. It's a 2-step process. You complete your app. Once you've done everything on your end, we take on the rest as the advisors to complete and certify your application. Next, we'll dive into, again, the meat of it, the application essays. So this round of Gilman applications, there's 4 short essays to respond to. Each of these essays is limited to a maximum of 500 words, which is approximately a 1-page single-spaced. And the bird's eye view summary of this is, for essay number 1, you have to clearly explain why you want to study or intern abroad, how it fits into your future goals, why you chose your program, and your host country. For essay 2, you have to show how your past experiences have prepared you for success abroad, and what specific skills you hope to develop during your time overseas. For essay number 3, you have to discuss how you will represent the U.S. abroad, how you will build relationships in your host community, and how you will engage with the local culture there. And for the last one, you have to explain how you will bring back and share what you learned, including your follow-on project, and how it will raise awareness of the Gilman program. So it's a very full circle type of essay responses. They want to hear your goals, your motivations, skills that you've built or that you will build, how you will represent the U.S. abroad, because again, this is a U.S. federally funded program. So they want to ensure that you're building close relationships, engaging with the local culture, and then explain to them how you will bring back this information, how you'll bring back your experience, share what you learned, and be very detailed on the follow-on project. So to take it further into tips for each of these essays, starting with the very first one again, instead of the bird's eye view, we're going to go a little bit further now. For the motivations for studying or interning abroad, you really have to make the case for why, what's your why you're participating on your program, how it's contributing to your future academic or career goals. So really get detailed, do some research on your host country that you can include so that it shows genuine interest on your program. Think of this as a response, as an interview on paper. So polish it well, get your point across right away and make sure that you touch every single aspect of the question. That's going to be key for all of these essay prompts. You have to make sure you revise multiple times, read it to a friend, read it to a professor, to a mentor, to the writing center on campus, which I'll share their resources later on in the presentation, but really get detailed about each aspect of what the question is asking, because after speaking with some other Gilman advisors and some panel reviewers of these applications, they really mentioned that sometimes students will go on and on about their experience, but regardless of the amount that they're writing, they didn't quite answer the question right away. So really put it in bullet points, start brainstorming exact details for each of these essay prompts. Same with the knowledge and skill development through studying and interning abroad for essay number 2. In this one, you have to describe specific examples in which your knowledge, your skills, so again, focusing very, very, very specific on academic and professional or extracurricular activities, rather than any other detail that wouldn't be relevant to academics, professional, or extracurricular. So these are experiences that would have equipped you to adapt to or succeed in your host country. You can absolutely feel free to mention personal experiences if you so wish, because remember that your experiences are different and unique to you. Not all students have these experiences. So if you think that a personal experience is going to be relevant to this type of question response, include it, but definitely emphasis on the academics, professional, and extracurricular activities. And then besides that, just remember to acknowledge what types of skills you hope to develop through your experience abroad, whether it's adaptability, discipline, etc. Be very specific and put a name to these skills and why you think they're valuable. Okay, the third essay, the Gilman Scholars as Citizen Diplomats. You have to describe your plans and strategies for engaging your host community and showcasing what it means to be an American abroad. So this is really taking the time to articulate how you will represent the United States as a citizen diplomat while you're abroad. This will require you to discuss how you will look for opportunities to build meaningful relationships and how you will become more culturally engaged. All of this info, according to Gilman, is particularly relevant as we approach their 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. So they want to take it a step further to really gauge your goals as a U.S. citizen, as a U.S. diplomat. And the fourth essay is the contributions to U.S. communities and follow-on service project proposal. For this one, think about how do you plan to leverage and share the knowledge and skills that you gained on your program or overseas upon your return to the United States. How will you raise awareness of the value of study abroad and highlight support available through the Gilman program? You have to really think about who is the primary audience for your follow-on service project and why did you select them? So again, be super detailed about your goals. If it's clear that you've taken the time to think about your goals, the communities you're going to be impacting, the location you're visiting, why you would want to outreach students on campus and specific communities on campus, all of these details are information that Gilman would like to know, and that makes an outstanding essay prompt, an outstanding application. Some more essay tips here. A few things to keep in mind when you are composing the essays is to really carefully review and to follow the word limits that they are providing and also the formatting requirements. All of the essays that you'll be submitting should be within 1 page, single spaced, and 12-point Times New Roman font. If possible, if you can make the time, please make the time to work with advisors on campus. Have your essays reviewed, like I was mentioning earlier, by the writing center on campus. maybe a professor you're close with, a mentor, like I had said, or just another trusted individual. Have it read by multiple people, get different takes on it. It's going to be really important to build a very strong essay responses for each of these essay prompts. Now I'm going to move into the supplemental awards. So again, these are optional but additional funding that you could receive if you decide to apply for these. The very first one is the Critical Need Language Award. Applicants who are studying a critical need language, which are listed here on this slide, can apply for a supplemental award of up to $3,000. So regardless of how much you get through the regular Gilman Scholarship, if you apply for this additional award, you can get up to another $3,000. In addition to receiving additional funds for language study, the Critical Need Language Award recipients will be offered the opportunity to take the ACTFL oral proficiency interview after the completion of their program for free. This is usually something that's not for free, so they are able to help you with the app fee there. And of course, the applicants must write and submit a short essay for this additional supplemental award. And again, it's for programs where you are studying one of the critical need languages that are listed on the screen. The other supplemental award is the STEM Coursework Award. Applicants who are participating in STEM-related coursework as part of their program abroad can apply for a supplemental award of up to $1,000. The STEM coursework must already be formally part of your credit-bearing program. So this is for a student that can clearly describe how their coursework will contribute to their academic and career goals. And this is whether or not they are a STEM major. They don't have to be a STEM major to pursue this. Both STEM majors or non-STEM majors may be a good candidate for this option. And again, this requires to submit a STEM-related short essay. So on top of the 4 short essays, that is the minimum Gilman application. These other 2 supplemental awards would be an additional essay. So one for the CNLA, the Critical Needs Language Award, and then one for the STEM Course Award as well. Next, I'm linking the information for the Writing Center. This is the Writing Center on campus that you can review your essays with. Come on in, guys, take a seat. You can scan the QR code to view the Writing Center information. You can book a free appointment with them, walk-in hours. All of the information is listed on their website, so you can ask them more questions about brainstorming, about reviewing your application. This is for, grammar purposes, essay etiquettes, having another set of eyes on your work to begin with. Once students run their essays through here, again, running it by an entrusted individual, a mentor, a professor, anyone like that is also another wonderful idea. So keep this Writing Center in mind and have their information handy for whenever you're ready to start submitting and finalizing information for your essays. Next, we're going to dive into selection criteria for the Gilman program. The applications for the Gilman program, they're reviewed holistically. So this is with consideration of the following criteria. This is what the Gilman folks who are going to be reviewing your essays are going to be looking at or looking for. The impact of your program, the destination that you chose. A successful Gilman applicant will describe how a specific program and the destination will support them in reaching their goals. They will also clearly articulate what they anticipate gaining academically or professionally. A successful Gilman applicant, they have to demonstrate academic preparedness as well as the ability to adapt to and thrive in a different environment. And of course, be able to articulate how he or she will engage with their host community, share what it means to be an American, design a follow-on project proposal that meets these goals. And for the supplemental essays, the CNLA and the STEM ones, of course, demonstrating a strong motivation to achieve proficiency in the language for the CNLA responses. And then for the STEM-related responses, that it's coursework that they will conduct abroad, they will demonstrate a strong interest in their STEM fields, and how this coursework experience extends beyond their time abroad and into their future goals. So again, very, very detailed selection criteria. It's going to be important to walk through it more than one time and hopefully not submit this as a last minute thing. Next, we're going to dive into application deadlines. So I'm hosting this workshop about 2 weeks out from the original or the final deadline for the upcoming Gilman cycle, because the Gilman Scholarship is going to be due October 3rd. So looking at this timeline here, there's 2 deadlines to keep in mind: the application deadline and the advisor deadline, which is more for me to know and to worry about. But the main deadline is going to be for October 3rd. And this is all going to be midnight Pacific time. So just keep an eye on that. We are on MST, on Mountain Standard Time, not PT, Pacific time. So as you're working on your application, if you happen to find yourself working on it the day of, just keep an eye on the clock, because it'll be midnight Pacific time. So keep that into consideration. If you apply for this Gilman cycle and you're not selected, you're still encouraged to reapply, as long as you still meet all of the eligibility requirements of your program, and that your program is starting within the stated time frame for the next application cycle. The last thing I'll share with everyone are just the resources. So Gilman has resources of their own where you can check out their social media. You can look at videos. There's some helpful videos on their YouTube, some tips on their YouTube as well, some updates that they share via Instagram or their website. And besides the Gilman resources, I'm always happy to help with Gilman questions. This is my email and my contact information. Our office is located in the Center for Community, so it's on the 3rd floor, and you can set up an appointment with me to walk through your essay applications if needed. And I'm happy to answer any other questions related